Atelier Totori, Adventurer of Our Land, is a JRPG by Gust that came out on the PlayStation 3 and the PS Vita in 2010. It's the second in a trilogy of games set in the world of Our Land. In addition to the unique playstyle and the great visuals, the music is absolutely stunning. It's based on a low fantasy setting, and the medieval/Celtic soundtrack really brings the game to life. This week, we're going to take a look at the opening theme Pilgrimage, composed by Ken Nakagawa, and see why it's so awesome. Disclaimer: this analysis is intended for people who already have a decent grasp on the basics of music theory. With that said, I hope you enjoy this discussion, and that it makes you curious to find out more, and do some research of your own. Alright, so here is Pilgrimage from the Atelier Totori soundtrack. So to get started, I'll just play this little intro right here, so you can hear what that sounds like. So here we've got this wonderful 6/8 time signature that, along with the the tin whistles and all of that going on, to really drive home that sort of medieval Celtic feel to it. At first, we're in the key of A minor, so we start off on F major 7, go to E minor 7 and A minor 7, which is a standard progression in a lot of Japanese music. Then we get F major 7, G, A sus4, and then right here is really interesting to me. This A sus4 is setting us up for a Picardy third. And what that is just a major 6 chord, a cadence that ends in a major 6 chord. So instead of A minor here, we would have A major. But right here, we have an F sharp chord in first inversion, so the third of the chord is on the bass. Now, where does this chord come from? Well, it's just a substitute for the A major chord. The F sharp chord is made up of F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp, so you still get that movement from D in the A sus4 down to C sharp in the F sharp chord. Now, A major would have been perfectly acceptable here, and it would have led into this B minor chord pretty well. So why choose F sharp over A sharp? Well, here, if you've noticed, we've got a key change right here over to B minor. So while A major would have been just fine to lead into that, the composer chose to do something that would not only surprise you a little bit, but would also lead into that chord a little bit more strongly. So rather than use A major, he chose an F sharp chord, which is the 5 chord of B minor. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, the 5 chord resolves to the 1 chord very, very strongly. Very important here is this A sharp, because it moves, rather than have an A going up a whole tone to B, you've got A sharp going up a semitone to B, which, since A sharp is the leading tone here, it just resolves more strongly than an A would. Also of note is the fact that A sharp is actually on the bass here, so we have this chromatic root movement from A to A sharp to B, just semitones there. One other thing I want to note is this little bar of 3/8 right here. If you take a listen to the song here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've just got this, instead of having 6 beats right here, it's been cut in half, and we have 3 beats instead. The reason for this is just because it's shorter. I mean, I personally think that an entire bar of 6/8 right here would have felt a little bit too long, so rather than do that, the composer decided to just go ahead and cut this in half and just have 3 beats before moving on to the verse. So here, the first verse, we're firmly in the key of B minor at this point. I'll just let you listen to these first 4 bars right here.
記憶をたどれば気配だけが
So here we've got B minor right here, going down to A6, which is just an A major chord with F sharp included. Then we have G, E over G sharp, and B minor, A, and B minor again. Now this is pretty standard right here, going from the 6th chord down to 5, down to 4. What I find interesting about this chord right here is just the inclusion of this G sharp right here. This comes from the Dorian mode. In comparison to the minor scale, the Dorian mode has a raised 6th. So the 6th note in the key of B minor is G, and if you look at B Dorian, you raise that G up from G natural to G sharp. The Dorian mode is very, very common in medieval music. It really helps give that sort of vibe. Let's see, that part where it shows up. Right there. It really helps add that sort of medieval flair to it. So moving on to the next 4 bars, we have a similar progression with just a few more extensions now that more instruments are involved. And you see here the melody previously over the E over G sharp chord, she's saying E. This time she sings G sharp over that chord, which really carries that sound a bit more strongly, I think. If you listen to that again. Now right here at the end of this verse, we have F sharp sus4 and F sharp. This is just a 5 chord in the key of B minor, and normally you would expect it to head back to B minor. However, this time we have a key change back to A minor, and we move to an F major 7 chord, which is really interesting. And this key change it strikes your ear and makes you note, oh hey, we're moving somewhere else now. I'll let you take a listen to the first 4 bars of this pre-chorus before I explain any more. So here we've just got the 4, 5, 6 chords right here, and it just repeats here. Pretty simple, nothing too spectacular about that, but it sounds good. So the second half of this pre-chorus is mostly the same, but the last 2 bars are a bit different, and that's pretty interesting. Let's give it a listen. So here, we've got this B flat major 7 chord, E7 sus4 and E7. Now at first glance, this might look a little bit weird, but it actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it. If you know what a minor 2-5-1 is, that's just a very common cadence in a minor key. So in this case, since we're in A minor, that would be B minor 7 flat 5, E7. So instead of B minor 7 flat 5, we have B flat major 7. Normally you would have B minor 7 flat 5 here, and then you have E7, and that would lead it back into A minor 7. However, in this case, we have B flat major 7. And if you compare the notes between B minor 7 flat 5 and B flat major 7, you'll see that they're very, very similar. A B minor 7 flat 5 chord is made up of the notes B, D, F, and A. A B flat major 7 chord is made up of the notes B flat, D, F, and A. So really, it's the same chord, just the root note's different. And I think that given that the B flat major 7 does not have the dissonant tritone interval between B and F, the B flat major 7 has a bit of a softer sound to it. It doesn't sound as tense as B minor 7 flat 5 would. So let's take a listen to this next part. Here we have a key change from A minor to B major, or G sharp minor, depending on how you look at it, into this chorus. And I'm going to let you listen to the first 4 bars here. I'll pause it right there. So what I found really interesting here is this key change from A minor to B major, or G sharp minor. And the reason I found this interesting was the fact that we've moved from E7 to E major 7, playing a different role here, and the fact that the root of the chord has not changed throughout this movement. Normally, in key changes like this, I would expect the root to move somewhere, but instead it kind of stayed the same. So I was curious as to how this chord suddenly took on a different role without sounding like we were still in A minor. And something I kind of failed to notice when I first heard this song was this little flute line right here. That little flute part right there. Even though we're in the key of A minor, we end on this E7 chord, which contains a G sharp, and that is the perfect spot for these flutes to take off, starting from G sharp, going through the G sharp minor scale. If you listen here. So we've got that scale run that's helping us transition from this key to the next. This chorus uses the typical Japanese 4-5-3-6 chord progression in the key of B. So we've got E major 7, F sharp, D sharp minor 7, and G sharp minor 7. And we have another 4-5-1 right here. And then right here, we've got this wonderful transition going into the next section. I'll just show you the next few bars right here. This D sharp 7 leads very, very strongly into this next E major 7 right here. And the reason for that, D sharp 7 here is, of course, an out-of-key chord. Normally, you would have a D sharp minor 7. Normally, this chord would resolve to G sharp minor. However, instead of doing that, we've moved up to E major 7 instead. And that's easily explained when you look at the notes in G sharp minor and E major 7. E major 7 is essentially just a G sharp minor chord with E on the bass. So that's in the same way that D sharp 7 strongly resolves to G sharp minor. The same notes are present in an E major 7 chord, so you still get that strong movement. Also, you might have noticed this little X right here. This is called a double sharp. The third of a D sharp minor 7 chord is F sharp. So when we raise that a semitone for D sharp 7, it's F double sharp. It's not G natural, it's F double sharp. That's just kind of a grammatical thing. Even though it has the same pitch as G, you call it F double sharp. Just as far as keeping things kind of grammatically correct when writing out music like this. That's just kind of like a nitpicky thing, but I just think it's kind of interesting to note. So here in these next few bars, we've got E major 7, F sharp 7 with E on the bass. So we've got F sharp 7 in third inversion. That's also very, very common when using this progression. We have D sharp 7 sus4, resolving to F sharp, going up to G sharp major. This is an example of a Picardy third played straight rather than having that twist like at the beginning of the song. Here, these last few bars of the chorus I find really intriguing. You can listen here. So you might notice there at the end we've got another Picardy third, this time in the key of A minor. We have the 4 chord, we have the 5 chord A sus4, and now we have A major, just like was being set up for earlier in this song in the intro. We were setting up for an A major chord, and here you can hear it played straight. This is what it would have sounded like. But what I think is most interesting is this part right here. We have all these crazy chord movements, and remember, at this point, we're still in the key of G sharp minor, or B. And suddenly, all of a sudden, we've got A major 7, D major 7, G major 7, C major 7, F major 7, and we're continuing on. However, if you look at the pattern, this suddenly starts to make sense. This is really kind of a convoluted way of making our way back to the key of A minor. Now, A major 7 in the key of B is not all that uncommon. It's just a flat 7 chord. It's pretty common, so it's not too much of a stretch to think that we could just throw this chord in. However, from A major 7, we go to D major 7. Then we go to G major 7 and C major 7, and the pattern here is that it's the same interval between each of these notes here. If you've heard of the circle of fifths, you'll notice that this applies right here. So the fifth of D is A. So we've got A major 7 leading to D major 7. The fifth of G is D. So we've got D major 7 leading into G major 7. The fifth of C is G, so we've got G major 7 leading into C major 7. And the fifth of F is C, so you have C major 7 going to F major 7. Normally, you would use dominant chords for this purpose. So you'd have A7 going to D7, going to G7, going to C7, since G7 is the 5 of C, and so on and so forth. But instead, the composer decided to use major 7 chords just for that softer sound. Something I want to point out about the vocal melody here is that the notes are accenting the extensions of the chords. So here we've got, I'll play it again. We've got G sharp right here, which is the 7th of A major 7. And then we've got, it lands on C sharp, which is the 7th of D major 7. And we have F sharp, which is the 7th of G major 7. And we have B, which is the 7th of C major 7. I just kind of find that interesting that the 7ths are pointed out. So at this point, cycling down the circle of fifths, we have A, going to D, going to G, going to C, going to F, and from this point, we could continue down the circle and go from F major 7 to B flat major 7, but instead, we've got F major 7, G, A sus4, and A, so we take F major 7 as kind of our exit point here, and we continue up this scale, kind of just setting ourselves back into the key of A minor for the outro, which is similar to the intro here. And there, to end the song, we've got another F sharp over A sharp here, leading into B minor, and we've got this lovely B minor 11 chord to end the song on. So, lots of really interesting harmonic choices in a song this short. It's barely a minute and a half long. It's a minute and 12 seconds, actually. And yet it manages to fit in 4 key changes, 5 if you include the final chord here. And it does so really, really smoothly, just because the composer was thinking about how to lead these chords in without making it sound too jarring. The key changes really serve to point out to your ear when you're moving into a new section. of the song, and it really serves to keep your interest as you listen. As always, if you have any questions, be sure to post a comment in the comment section or tweet me at ongakuconcept. Also, you can check out the website at www.ongakuconcept.com, and you can actually find this sheet right here. I've got it up in the sheet music section, and you can download it. So have fun with that, and I will see you guys next week. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I've got a new video out every Saturday, and let me know what you thought of this one on the comments or on Twitter. This week's album of the week is Passion and Pride, Anthems with Attitude from the Sonic Adventure era. Just in time for the 15th anniversary of the Sega Dreamcast, Sega released a new album containing remastered versions of all of the character themes from Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, including a completely new remix of the SA2 version of It Doesn't Matter. It sounds really cool. You can actually pick it up on the American iTunes Store if you want, and as well as the UK version. I don't know about any other territories, but I will link both of those in the description. Go check them out. They're pretty cool, and I will see you guys next week.